ALAMEDA, Raiders quarterback Derek Carr was the subject of some unflattering rumors on Tuesday morning. Teammates swiftly came to his defense on social media, shutting down an inflammatory, incorrect story spread by a controversial internet radio show host married to an NFL player. On Wednesday, the topic fell at Carr's feet. Some background: the host, repeating a story told by a Raiders fan on her podcast, said Carr demanded his teammates stand during the national anthem prior to a September 24 game in Washington, the Sunday night contest, following anti-NFL player statements made by President Trump. The host then claimed that there was a pre-game argument in the Raiders locker room over that issue, and, here's the kicker, that the Raiders offensive line intentionally allowed Derek Carr to get hit and eventually hurt. Since we here at NBC Sports Bay Area aren't in the business of spreading rumors, here's a quick synopsis of what happened, according to team sources on and off the record. It was also written in large part here. The Raiders planned to stay in the locker room for the anthem. There was a spirited discussion, with opinions from several levels of the organization, the night before, as many other teams did in response to Trump's comments on NFL anthem protests. Logistics of Sunday Night Football's unique pre-game schedule took that option away. The Raiders tried to work out a different plan on the fly, and there was some disagreement on how to handle the new situation as a unit. That wasn't resolved during the limited discussion time before an important game. That's why you saw groups protesting in different ways. The offensive line and most Raiders defenders sat with arms locked. Others chose to kneel. Carr was among several who stood. The team's unquestioned leader and franchise quarterback prayed during the anthem near other teammates who sat and stood. At no point did Carr tell anyone what to do. Then the Raiders got outplayed, outmatched and outcoached by an energetic, determined Washington football club. That was it. They lost a football game they wanted to win. End of story. Carr suffered transverse process fractures in his back the following week at Denver on a freak play where he was awkwardly wrenched to the ground and kneed in the back by a Broncos defensive lineman. Every Raiders offensive lineman immediately huddled around him, and left tackle Donald Penn looked concerned as he walked with Carr toward the sideline. Back to present day. This false theory was originally discussed by a non-sports radio show in Sacramento shortly after the Washington game, saying the line allowed him to get hit, but it didn't become a mainstream topic until players reacted to Tuesday's rehashing by the aforementioned internet radio hosts. This rumor gone viral came up during Carr's Wednesday bye-week press conference. A reporter asked if the Bible verse he posted on Twitter Tuesday afternoon, "Those who control their tongue will have a long life. Opening your mouth can ruin everything," Proverbs chapter 133, NLT, was a response to the rumor. "I know you have to ask. That has nothing to do with what was said," Carr said, told the inquiring reporter. "I don't give false claims any due. If you see anything on my Twitter timeline, you see I post a lot of scriptures. You can ask anyone about the YouVersion Bible app. That was the scripture of the day and I just posted it." Fans immediately thought the post and store were connected. Everyone started saying shade, this and all that. "I'm bigger than that," Carr said. "I don't pay any mind to that kind of stuff. Because it detours. Making false claims about somebody before you know them, and about a group of guys, that has no business in our world. We're trying to promote peace and love. I don't think that has any place." Several players immediately shut down the story on Tuesday, including Penn. https://twitter.com Penn70 status 927-914188197937158 ALAMEDA, Raiders edge rusher Khalil Mack will never hit free agency. "No way, no how. The reigning defensive player of the year is a generational talent. You don't let those guys walk out the front door." General Manager Reggie McKenzie has no intention, and plans to lock Mack up long-term well before his contract expires. The Raiders exercised the 2014 first-round pick's fifth-year team option, putting him in line for a $13.8 million base salary in 2018. He's expected to make a lot more than that next season. McKenzie reiterated the Raiders' plan to negotiate a long-term extension with Mack this offseason. "I anticipate that. Yes, I do," McKenzie said. Hopefully his agent feels the same. Mack's new deal is phase 2 of the Raiders' long-term extension plan for the 2014 draft class. They gave second-round quarterback Derek Carr a massive contract in June. Third-round right guard Gabe Jackson got a big deal later that month. Those deals were more pressing for members of the 2014 draft class entering a contract year. Mack's fifth-year option, afforded only to first-round picks, gave the Raiders some breathing room. Mack obviously wanted to get paid earlier. Who wouldn't? Aaron Donald, another elite first-round defender from the 2014 draft class, held out this summer and reported without a new contract. There's not much leverage this early in the process. Mack reported on time, as expected. His patience should be rewarded, because waiting a year should only increase the market. The Raiders have made it clear to Mack they want an extension way before a deadline, during this next offseason. Mack's people will certainly demand top dollar, with a realistic shot to set the market for edge rushers and defensive players in general. The team doesn't want to reach a point where they have to use a franchise tag before the 2019 season. That isn't expected. As McKenzie said, a deal is anticipated this offseason. Von Miller and Justin Houston signed an in-figure contract with significant guarantees. Mack has the talent, work ethic and production required to top them both. Time will tell how big a deal Mack will get, but one is coming in time. The Raiders have worked the salary cap and their cash flow to provide windows to sign important pieces of a young foundation. Alameda, the Raiders' defense has a magic number entering every game. If the opponent hits or falls below the mark, the Raiders should win. Our goal is always 17 points, cornerback TJ Carey said. If we hold them 2 or under, then we feel our offense can do enough to pull out a victory. That's sound logic. It hasn't produced results. The defense has held an opponent to 17 or less 3 times. The Raiders are 12. The Raiders have also given up 24 or more in 3 straight games. They're 21 in those. At some point, the Raiders must start playing consistently complementary football. They got some of it in Sunday's 2,724 victory over Miami. They're going to need a lot more should the Raiders go on the run required to legitimately get back in the playoff hunt. The offense must find consistency down the stretch. The defense must improve to get point totals back down. They'll try and do so during this bye weekend and work leading towards a November 18th showdown with New England. Del Rio believes his Raiders must do better at the basics. When we start tackling better, and then getting off on third down more regularly, I think you take a big jump, Del Rio said on Monday. To me, what it comes down to is the tackling on the back end that has really been poor. You can't play great defense without being great tacklers. That's probably the biggest area for us. Maybe it's a tie between the tackling and the turnovers, being able to catch the ball and being able to leverage and tackle better. Those are kind of the 2 keys in helping us take a big step forward defensively. The Raiders were so good creating game-changing plays last year. They had 30 turnovers forced in 16 games. Now they're also dead last with 6 total takeaways. They don't have an interception through 9 games. But you know all that. Defensive backs do, too. They've come close to interceptions, without locking one down. It isn't maddening, yet. But that unit would like to start squashing drives early, or saving them late. That would help in favorable numbers. The Raiders rank number 26 in total defense with 361.1 yards allowed per game. They're number 22 against the pass, number 21 against the run, and number 21 with 23.8 points allowed per game. Turnovers are one way to change games. Sacks are another. They aren't the only way to impact the passer. Pressures and hits can also cause game-changing plays. Sacks can be drive killers. The Raiders had an NFL low 25 sacks last year despite Khalil Mack rushing off one edge. The NFL's Defensive Player of the Year had 11. Bruce Irvin had 7 off the other flank. Nobody else had 3. A robust interior pass rush was supposed to increase pressure on the quarterback. This year's pass rush is more diverse, but it isn't more productive. The Raiders have 13 sacks through 9 games. Only Tampa Bay has less. Mack has 4.5. Mario Edwards Jr. has 3.5. Irvin has 2.5. That isn't enough from the Silver and Black's heavy hitters. I am a little surprised we haven't been a little more effective with it, Del Rio said. We've got good pass rushers. We need to have a little tighter coverage so that the quarterback has to hold the ball. If he's able to get it out on time and comfortably, throw it in front of us and then make guys miss and get big plays, then why would they hold on to it to look down the field? That's where I say leverage and tackling is huge for our defense.